Sex is one of the most natural parts of human life, yet it's also one of the most confusing, misunderstood, and often taboo topics, especially for teenagers. One of the most debated questions across cultures, households, and schools is this: when should teenagers learn about sex? Is there a right age? Is it too early to talk about it? Should we wait until they're older? Or should we start the conversation sooner? In today's video, we're going to explore these questions in depth and offer a clear, balanced, and informed perspective on this very important topic. Let's start with a simple truth: teenagers are already curious. Whether we talk to them about sex or not, they are hearing about it from friends, social media, movies, or the internet. The problem is, when we don't provide accurate, age-appropriate sex education, they're left to figure things out on their own, often from unreliable or even harmful sources. So, when is the right time to start teaching teenagers about sex? The answer is, it's not about one specific age, but rather about gradual, age-appropriate conversations that begin earlier than most people expect. Experts in child development and public health agree, sex education should begin in early childhood, not in the way of teaching graphic details, but in helping children understand their bodies, boundaries, and respect for others. For instance, teaching a 5-year-old the correct names for body parts or explaining the concept of private vs. public touch is already the first step in sex education. As children grow into preteens, usually between ages 9 to 12, they begin experiencing physical and emotional changes due to puberty. This is a crucial time to talk about puberty, menstruation, body image, hormones, and emotional health. These discussions should be honest, supportive, and open, allowing kids to ask questions without fear or shame. By the time a child becomes a teenager, which usually starts around age 13, their curiosity increases significantly. This is the age where conversations about sex, relationships, consent, contraception, and safety become necessary. Teenagers are not only thinking about sex, they're forming ideas, judgments, and sometimes even engaging in sexual behavior. It's our responsibility as parents, educators, and adults to guide them, not control or shame them. Avoiding the topic of sex until a teenager is old enough or when a relationship doesn't protect them, it leaves them vulnerable. Studies have shown that teenagers who receive comprehensive sex education are more likely to delay sexual activity, use protection when they do become sexually active, and have healthier relationships. On the other hand, those who don't get proper education are more likely to rely on misinformation and take greater risks. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly should teenagers learn about sex? The answer goes far beyond just biology or how babies are made. Comprehensive sex education includes several essential topics. 1. Anatomy and physiology, understanding the human reproductive system, how bodies work, and the physical changes of puberty. Consent and boundaries, learning how to give and receive consent, respect personal space, and recognize healthy vs. unhealthy behaviors. Relationships, understanding emotional intimacy, communication, respect, and the qualities of a healthy relationship. Sexual orientation and gender identity, teaching respect for diversity, understanding different identities, and promoting inclusion. Contraception and protection, learning about different methods of birth control, how to use condoms, and preventing sexually transmitted infections, STIs. Emotional aspects of sex, understanding that sex is not just a physical act, but one tied to emotions, trust, and personal readiness. Digital safety, discussing online behavior, sexting, pornography, and protecting one's digital privacy and reputation. Each of these topics can be introduced in age-appropriate ways over time, rather than dumped all at once. What's important is that teenagers feel safe and empowered to ask questions, express feelings, and make informed choices. One common fear among parents and guardians is that talking about sex will encourage teens to experiment early. But research proves otherwise. In fact, open, honest conversations tend to delay sexual activity and encourage safer behavior. Teenagers who feel trusted and respected are more likely to make thoughtful decisions, not impulsive ones. On the flip side, if we avoid talking about sex or treat it like something shameful, teenagers are more likely to seek answers from unfiltered, untrustworthy sources, like explicit websites, pornography, or peers who are just as uninformed. These sources rarely teach about consent, safety, or emotional consequences. That's why education must come from trusted adults who care. Another important point, sex education should be inclusive, not judgmental. It should consider all teenagers, regardless of their gender, background, sexual orientation, or culture. Telling teens that sex is bad or only acceptable after marriage doesn't prepare them for the realities of life. Instead of scaring them, we need to equip them with knowledge, values, and confidence to make the right decisions for themselves. Also, we must remember that not all teenagers mature at the same pace. Some may be ready to understand complex topics earlier, while others need more time. The key is to create an ongoing dialogue, not a one-time lecture. Be available, be approachable. Let teens know they can come to you with questions, and that you'll answer honestly and without judgment. Now let's talk about the role of schools. While parents and caregivers are the first teachers, schools play a huge part in shaping young minds. Comprehensive sex education in schools ensures that all teenagers, regardless of their home environment, have access to accurate, unbiased information. Programs that focus only on abstinence, the just don't do it approach, have been shown to be less effective. Teenagers need realistic, practical guidance, not moral ultimatums. Let's not forget the importance of teaching respect and empathy. Sex education isn't just about preventing pregnancy or STIs, it's about building a generation that understands boundaries, respects others, values consent, and approaches relationships with care. These are life skills that go far beyond the topic of sex. Now, if you're a parent watching this and you feel nervous or unprepared to talk to your teenager about sex, that's okay. You don't have to be perfect. What matters is that you try. Start with small conversations. Ask your teen what they're learning in school. Share your values, but also listen to theirs. Use real-life situations, a scene in a movie, a news story, as conversation starters. And if you don't know the answer to a question, it's perfectly fine to say, "Let's find out together." To sum it up, teenagers should learn about sex early, before they actually need the information. Knowledge empowers them to protect themselves, make informed choices, and develop into respectful, responsible adults. Sex education is not a threat to innocence, it's a path to safety, confidence, and maturity. So, the next time someone asks, when should teenagers learn about sex? The answer is early, gradually, and with love and honesty. We don't prepare our kids for life by keeping them in the dark. We prepare them by shining a light and walking with them through their questions, confusion, and curiosity. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and leave a comment below with your thoughts. And if you're a teenager watching this, know that you have the right to ask questions, to learn, and to make choices based on knowledge, not pressure or fear. Stay informed, stay respectful, and keep learning. See you in the next video.